It is off the charts in conjunction with the ML Sports Platter, brought to you by CH Insurance. They are in your corner. Check the year-end policies, of course. Boost up with Joe Corsi and more at chinsurance.cc. Fresh off a win over Monmouth, it is Adrian Autry, the head men's basketball coach of the Syracuse Orange, and Joe Jr. I'm Mike Lindsley. Adrian, welcome aboard. Hi, guys.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Coach Red. Great W, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So 4-0 and the gauntlet ahead, right, with Houston, Kansas, Tennessee, and you got to feel really good about, the wins. I know that second half got a little tough at the end there, but, kind of mix that together, right? The mindset is undefeated. Obviously, a coach always wants to play better. You always want to win in dominating fashion, Adrian, but you've got the gauntlet ahead to prepare for that. JJ's back. You're undefeated, plenty to work with. Tie it all in, how it goes in here at this point.
Yeah, I thought, just a little bit about last night. Obviously, Monmouth was, King Rice does a great job. These guys came in prepared, and for us, inserting JJ back in the lineup, I thought we had some, a little bit of adjusting internally last night. But I think we'll be fine. I think the biggest thing that, how I would kind of categorize or group everything up is it's all about a level 5 energy and effort and collectiveness and collaborativeness, staying together. And I think for the most part, we've done that. We're going to have some dips. That's just human nature, but we try to avoid those dips and address them. And that's what we're trying to do right now, is just continually know what our issues are and try to address those and continually get better. We're only 4 games in. This is a process. So, I was proud that, these guys were able to, face a little adversity. We hadn't had an adversity these first couple of games, and last night we did. And I thought, we did a good job of collecting ourselves and kind of getting to the finish line with the result.
Yeah, Coach, it was great. I mean, as a fan for all these years, I think the community sees the energy, the passion, the toughness, and maybe a couple years ago, you might have not have won that game. I mean, those are some of the things we saw. It was unbelievable how that defense and intensity of pressure raises the game. But want to chat briefly about Kiyan. He looks so comfortable out there. Your thoughts on him as we move forward? Is he doing it in practice? Just seems so comfortable out there when he comes in the game, whether he starts or comes in off the bench.
Yeah, he's a very confident player, very talented player. So, the one thing about him is he's going to have some growing pains like most freshmen do. But, trying to instill confidence, we don't have to do that. We just got to try to hide and guide him and put him in the best situations for him to showcase and help us win. So, but he's very confident. No moment is too big for him, and he's ready to go at all times.
Adrian, 9:00 starts are wild. I mean, I've always said in sports, all sports, right? Male, female, pro, college, way on down to the U time, when you visited me at basketball camp years ago, you wake up and your body clock also is a part of it, right? It's scheme, player, coach, that day, venue, time zone, if you're traveling. What is it with 9:00 games? How do you manage that? I mean, you did it a ton in your career in the old Big East when you're just waiting to get beat up, right? Well, the physicality too exists today. The 9:00 game versus 7 versus 6 versus 2:00 weekend versus noon game, young players, older players. Is there a dynamic? Is there something you talk about preparing when you wait to play all the way to 9 p.m.?
Well, when we have those late games, especially at home, we actually get a chance to do something that we typically don't do. Is have a walkthrough at the JMA, and typically at 9:00, just because of the class schedule. So that was an adjustment for us. That was something that we haven't done this year. So your schedule definitely changes a little bit, and you're waiting for a while. And like you said, the clock, right? But I think the clock really bothers the coaches more than it does the players. The players are up at 9 anyway. They just get started. So it probably impacts us more than the players.
Hey, Coach, walk us through real brief next week. Obviously, Houston, Kansas playing Thanksgiving week, mindset when you're leaving. Give the viewers a little forward look into your schedule next week and the team and where we're going.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll get together on it'll be Thursday, and we'll kind of close the chapter and take some things. What have we learned from our last game? We always like to do that. What have we learned? And it's not me as the coach. We get a chance to ask the players. For them to be thoughtful about what they've learned. We think that's a really good day to to kind of keep growing and ask those questions. And then after that, we'll practice Thursday, Friday. We'll practice Saturday. We'll adjust our times with our practices to try to, build our clock. Like you said, adjust our clock. So our practices will differ a little bit. We'll try to mirror, game time in Vegas. So, we'll adjust some clocks with our practices, and then we'll get on there and get prepared. And like I said it, and I really mean it. Like, yeah, we play Houston, we play Kansas, but our focus is on, us, what we need to do, our level of energy, where we need to be at. And we feel that if we play, together with our energy level 5, that'll take care of all the scouting reports. That'll give us a chance to play with anybody.
Adrian, I only have one more. I just wanted to ask you about Lawrence Moten. How will you remember Lawrence, such a great friend of yours? And obviously the Cuse community is like this with the players.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I were texting about it too. First of all, condolences, obviously. And he was such a good dude. Every time I saw him, he'd give me the bro hug and pull me in. How will you remember Lawrence as the guy and the player?
I think, you just, nailed it. Anybody that knows Lawrence, you're talking about a wonderful spirit, super positive, very personable, but just a, super positive guy that, and he bled orange. He really did, and this, he loved his community. He loves his time here. This community loves him back. But, he is, the ultimate alum, like he loved it. And, but just the way he was, super positive, always smiling, always upbeat, and that's how I remember him.
No, that's great.
This was fantastic.
Well, Coach, best of luck next week. Keep that energy 5 going, and happy Thanksgiving to you, the team, and the family.
Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, too.
No doubt about it. Adrian Autry, Syracuse men's head basketball coach, brought to you by CH Insurance. They are in your corner, year-end policies, and a heck of a lot more. Boost up. Check your policy as we move into 2026. Red Autry, go get him. Thanks again, my friend.
Thanks, fellas. Talk to you later.